Hey, and so with a little bit of news, well, maybe breaking news, kind of, sort of, maybe. Apparently, over on Game Informer, there was an interview with Ion Hazzikostas, the game director for the World of Warcraft, regarding Battle for Azeroth, the upcoming expansion for the World of Warcraft. And during this interview, it was revealed that apparently there are going to be no more tier bonuses in WoW. So, like, damn. Wow. This is the question that I wanted to ask in the upcoming Q&A that's going to go down in a couple days with regards to how tier bonuses and Azerite armor, how that was going to play out. Because at least in my head, the way that I thought it was going to work is that certain tier gear, in either your head, your shoulders, or your chest, that's where the Azerite stuff is going to be. That might have like a certain spec to it, like it might have certain bonuses to it. So then I would be kind of finagling with whether or not I want a tier bonus with the right Azerite traits, because those traits are going to be fixed, or if I wanted to go for like a different kind of gear, non-tier gear that happened to have better Azerite traits on. It would have been a kind of convoluted system. So the fact that there are going to be no tier bonuses is, well, it's pretty eye-opening. This opens up a lot of doors, but, well, it brings up a couple of concerns. So I wanted to start maybe a kind of discussion on this over here. Now, first, when it comes to customization, I like this. I like this change. I think that something like this would have been useful here in Legion when we had legendaries to juggle around. But in this case, with Battle for Azeroth, we don't have to worry about shuffling around all sorts of different kinds of gear. And just like what I had mentioned, with having to balance your skills with your tier set bonuses and whatnot, it would have been overly complicated. It would have caused a lot of chaos and a lot of bad feelings, because again, if there were situations where players were choosing between getting the right Azerite traits over their tier bonuses, that just wouldn't feel very good. In fact, let me read the quote that Ian has here. He says that there's more customization that we want to express through the new Azerite system. I think class sets have changed a lot over the years of World of Warcraft. Back in the day, these 8-piece sets you would put together over the course of 6 to 8 months raiding a zone, where now the smaller sets and so many more sources of gear, it's very common to get 2 or 4 pieces at the start of a tier, and it actually kind of locks down those character slots. It limits your choices. It feels like more of a drawback than a strength at this point. And I agree, it is kind of awkward at the start of a raid tier when you are getting those first couple pieces of gear, and I'm hearing the raid just kind of mull to themselves, oh, okay, I can get this, but then it's going to break my 4-piece, so I'm not going to get it now, I'll get it later, I'll wait till someone else gets like a complete set, if that's better for them. So it causes a lot more thinking than what's really necessary. I mean, I guess what Blizzard wants to do, they just want us to pick up gear and be happy with it and just go. Also, according to the article, traits that enhance certain kinds of abilities, those things are also going to be rolled into the Azerite system. So that kind of sort of tells me that certain gear that's going to drop in these raids or instances or whatnot, they're going to have, maybe they might have like special traits that you won't get anywhere else. Like these are like, things that you only get from the raid, whereas there might be unique Azerite combinations or traits that you're only able to get from like a Mythic Plus dungeon, for example. Or there might be a certain combination that you get from war fronts or island expeditions. So I like the flexibility that it grants us. What I'm less excited about, or I guess what I'm anxious about, is the unique art that comes with these tier sets. Ian says that art-wise, the gear will be more heavily themed from the place that it comes, as in the raid. So based on that information, Uldir, which is supposed to be the first raid in Battle for Azeroth, the tier sets or the gear that's in there are going to be heavily troll and kind of Titan themed. The question that I have then is, well, just how many different kinds of armor sets are there going to be made per tier? My expectation is that there's still going to be one unique set for each class. To be honest, I'd be pretty butthurt if we had to sacrifice, having a unique paladin looking set, and instead I just have like, a generic troll plate set that I share with Death Knights and Warriors. That doesn't sit very well with me. Now, I don't mind if it's just 3 different kinds of troll/titan kinds of gear, as long as they're just unique. I'd hate for like a non-transmog raid for all the plate classes to look the same, all the cloth classes to look the same, and so on and so forth. Finally, there's the identity of the gear itself. Remember, this is raid gear that we're talking about with these tier sets. Is it supposed to be unique? Is it going to feel unique as opposed to dungeon gear, as opposed to island gear and warfronts? Part of what makes a tier set is the bonus. It has a feeling of exclusiveness that's unique to everything else. We've seen that kind of lean away in Legion. We've seen smaller sets that have come from the newer dungeons. That stuff has appeared in the Suramar dungeons as well as Karazhan. I have a feeling that it's not going to have that same kind of uniqueness, that prestige, and to be honest, I prefer it. And from a looting standpoint, this is fantastic. There's no more need for tier tokens. So now the trouble of having to, I don't know, like go back to the previous raid and hope that it Titan Forges or War Forges or whatever, so you can get like the stats that you want and the set bonuses that you want. All that stuff is getting thrown out the window. It's simplified, and to me, it's the good kind of simplification. You just get the gear, well, as long as it has like, you know, good trade, you know, I mean, you're going to inspect it. You want your good stats, you want your good traits and everything, but it's all visible. You can see it, and that's it. There's no token and then hope that it, you know, has extra stats on it. It's just right there for everyone to see. So that's all I have to say about it right now. I might have extended thoughts about it during the weekly, but, well, what do you folks at home think? I'm excited so far. I'm looking to seeing more on the Azerite system itself and how that's going to play into things. And from there, I'll have more complete thoughts and come to a final judgment as to how I feel about this system. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'd like to start a little discussion down below and see what you folks think about it. You know, if there's anything that I haven't thought of, because, you know, this is all just kind of coming off the top of my head. Anything that I haven't thought of that you think should be addressed with this new paradigm of having no tier. Of course, like and sub for more news about Battle of Azeroth and all things Warcraft. Otherwise, you guys have a good one. Stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.